And this is some real shit. I ain't gonna say no names.
I mean, how was she through this whole process of sitting in, in prison, having you, and, of course you probably bring her son, sometimes.
Yeah, definitely. I definitely brought her son. Her mother would come, because her mother lived down south. So she would fly up whenever she had time and visit, you know what I'm saying? Her brothers definitely would visit when they, everybody got their own lives. So whenever they had time, they came up and visited and supported. But me, I was visiting her every day.
Dope.
And also, what was crazy was, around the time when that happened with Rem was around the same time everything happened with my label. So I was in a space where I really needed to rebuild, start all over and focus. But at that point, I was like, this is more important. I need to focus on my wife. And I just visited her every day. And she used to tell me like, yo, you can't do this. You got to focus on your career. And I was like, yo, I don't care about that. So everything just got worse for me at that time. Like my whole world came crashing down.
Wow. I haven't heard this part of the story before.
Oh yeah, man. I hit rock bottom around that time, man. Like it was real bad. You know what I'm saying? But I knew that she needed me. So I really didn't care about nothing that was going on with me. I was in the free world. So I just made sure I focused on her, because when she blew trial, like normally somebody blow trial, they'll say, all right, we're going to give you a certain amount of time and you got to come back, turn yourself in and do your time. But when her lawyer requested that, they was like, no, remand right now. So she just got snatched out of society instantly. They didn't give her a chance to pack her crib up, situate her son or anything. So I had to do all of that. I had to make sure everything was right and try to juggle everything at the same time. And at the same time, I had to make sure she was all right mentally, because I knew behind that wall, that shit ain't no joke. So I'm like, yo, I got to make sure me and her are communicating constantly and I'm visiting as much as I can. You know what I'm saying?
Right, because at the time, didn't you have 3 kids of your own?
Yeah.
So let's not forget that part of the equation.
Oh, definitely. There were actually times where I brought my kids with me to see her when she was away. You know what I'm saying? They came a lot, and we maintained our family bond as much as we can through that prison wall. So we would get conjugal visits, and I would go shopping, get all of the food, put the kids in the car, and we would all stay with her for like 3 days at a time. Whenever we were able to get those type of visits. So, we maintained our family through the prison wall.
But every homie that I got that's a good nigga.
Johnny Perfect.
I'm talking about a good nigga.
I used to come see me literally every single day, so I was chilling. I was like,
so he came up every day? Every visit?
For the first year, he came literally every single day. When you're in a max, you have a visit every day, except for it alters on the weekends, Saturday or Sunday. So literally the first year, he came every day.
How far is Bedford Hills from?
It's about 45 to an hour, depending on traffic.
So he was running up there every day, like coming up there.
Yeah, it got to a point where I had to tell him, like, yo, like, I'm good. I'm all right. Like, and I guess, like, when he believed it, that was all right, and I was like, he was like, all right, cool. And then he'll come, like, a little bit less. He'll come, like, 3 times a week, or, like, but it still seemed like he was there a lot. I spoke to him literally every day. I don't think a day went by unless I was locked that I didn't speak to him on the phone every day.
When you first got locked up, you and Pat wasn't married yet?
No.
So did you know that he was going to be there and stand up the way he stood up?
No. What? I didn't know.
No, I'm just saying.
Never fucked up, never got caught cheating, never did.
Would you say never got
shit.
caught? Was they cheating though? You said
no.
No,
I don't know. But what I'm saying is they never got caught. None of that shit. They all caught they bitch with a dick in her mouth.
Remy, you.
And this is some real shit. I ain't gonna say no names, but every homie that I got that's a good nigga.
Johnny Perfect.
I'm talking about a good nigga. Never fucked up, never got caught cheating, never did.
Would you say never got
shit.
Caught? Was they cheating though? You said
no.
No.
I don't know. But what I'm saying is they never got caught. None of that shit. They all caught they bitch with a dick in her mouth.
No. Are you serious?
Every last one of them.
Goddamn it.
Every last one of them caught they bitch with a dick in her mouth.
God, that sucks.
I'm just saying. So to me, it just seemed like the good guys finished last.
Peace to the tribe, peace to the collective. Today, first off, let me say some songs that you might want to listen to. Remy Ma, Conceited, Remy Ma, Remyma. Another good Remy Ma song would be Sheether. That's Shether. Once again, some songs you want to listen to. Papoose, Nasarima Dream. You want to get that album. It's American spelled backwards. And you also want to tap into Papoose Law Library. I got to make that disclaimer because what we talking about is artists. What we talking about is stars. So as an astrologer, we study the stars. So on this channel, we talk about different things, different topics that purely interest me at a spiritual level. And today I want to teach and I want to talk about a very important illusion that people are under, which is called love, right? Or the image of love, the particular standards and efforts that you would tend to do for a person only to find out that they a backseat driver, right? They be holding a stick in reverse, things of that nature. So give me a moment while I set up my screen because I actually want to see y'all comments. If I go off the rails, if y'all able to hear me, things of this nature, because as y'all can see, I'm doing this live without any glasses. So I'm basically a blind little girl. If I don't have no coffee and I don't have no glasses, I turn to Stevie Wonder's youngest daughter, Kyria. But that's besides the point. Let me set up this so I can be able to see what y'all got to say this morning. Just been, I'm extremely busy, and I'm so busy that I have to do these videos to at least give myself one thing that I'm gonna do in my life that's gonna be beneficial to me. You feel me? So yeah, man, I've been working on this video for like a couple days, but at the same time, I was gonna do it regardless. So once again, we are here to learn and understand. No glasses. Yeah, I turned to Stevie Wonder. Stevie Wonder's youngest son, Kyria. Let me get these goddamn comments up here. See what the hell y'all got to say. Bring up my screen right there. Boom, bam. Thank you, ma'am. How the fuck y'all doing, though? You feel me? How the fuck are y'all doing? Right? Melanin by Remy Ma. That's another song you want to tap into. Because these are stars. These are people with immense talent and immense abilities. It's only natural to be influenced and look up to people such as Remy Ma and Papoose. Remy Ma is top tier, gorgeous, beautiful. Papoose, let's just reverse this, right? Let's just say a guy shoots his friend, goes to jail for 6 years, and the girl's daddy's with holds him down for 6 years, brings his kids to see him, right? The dude gets out of jail. We know very well that he more than likely, once he gets out of jail, he gonna be back on that shit again. So at the same time, we looking at Remy Ma, or society is looking at Remy Ma as like, how could you do that to him? But we have to understand that the motherfucking coin got two sides to it. When you slice a piece of bread, you cutting that bitch both ways. So never think that you can't never as a man assume that your woman is only tuned in and tapped into you, especially if you were the pursuer. Why am I saying this? Because a woman already knows what type of man she wants, desires. Whether she got the balls to shoot her shot is entirely up to her. But in reference to the man that she like in her heart, in her mind, the best advice is for you to shoot your shot. Because a man that is going to pursue you has nothing to do with your anima. We're teaching, and I don't want you to be triggered. I want you to learn. Pull out your notebooks. If I say a word that you ain't never heard before or don't know the particular definition, Google it. Understand what your anima is and how it can help you. Why do you think it's so many people in relationships? Just worldwide. It would be something to do with the inner psychic nature that will curate, cultivate what is desirable to you at a genetic cellular level, right? There's a simple electrical formula. E equals MC squared. That is the same correlation that E represents energy, MC equals mass squared. So reality, physical reality, and energy are synonymous. So when you are energetically seeing the type of man that you want, you need to go get this. So in this particular case, Remy Ma don't really, you can, just because Remy Ma went to jail, this is what we need to understand. And this is what I need you to understand. This is why I have a sandcastle. This is why I have a sandcastle as my picture. Imagine everything that you do for your partner, for your lover, husband, boyfriend, girlfriend, any type of romantic partnership, any type of platonic, friends with benefits, anything you do for a particular person, like prostitute, John, those types of things, whatever you do, imagine it to be a sandcastle. That way you'll never be hurt, right? Because what you are imagining, it is a sandcastle, but I'm trying to help you understand what's happening, right? But if you don't see it as a sandcastle, you'll be like, man, I did this for you. I built this sandcastle. I built that sandcastle. I built this sandcastle. I built this sandcastle. And we on the beach. And the tide is coming. And that shit get washed away, wiped away. And you standing on something that don't even exist. So in this particular circumstance, a man is holding down his, and he, I bet you, in the argument, I guarantee Papoose will say some shit like this. I guarantee. Bitch, I held you down for 6 years while you was in prison. I came and seen you every day. I guarantee you he say some shit like that. You know why? Because niggas love building sandcastles and telling a bitch or telling that girl how they just built a sandcastle and how glorious they sandcastle that they built 10 fucking years ago. But then another song you want to Google, all my Gen Zs out here. Another song you might want to Google, Janet Jackson. What have you done for me lately? I would play it, but they'll copyright strike me. I would play it, but they'll copyright strike me. What have you done for me lately? So, I want to talk about illusion, but I want to say in your relationships, men, women, it does not matter how much or how you love that person, especially if you pursued them, right? You a man, you pursued her. Hey, baby, you slid in her DMs. In that case, however she decides to treat you, you got to accept it because you was never making no qualifications. How you going to make a qualification and you pursuing? Well, I want you to treat me a certain, you can't flip the script. You have to be in tune with your soul, understand your chart, understand your Mars energy, understand your masculine polarity. You're going to have to exercise your Mars. Is it Mars? Is it Mars in fire? Is it Mars in air? Is it Mars in water? Is it Mars in earth? Start there. Maximize your day as a man. As a man, not as a person that finds validation on whether or not a woman loves you or not, because this is more of a mother projection on the whole entire planet. And you might be here to fucking lay pipe. I mean, literal pipe, like pipe in the ground, nigga, like so people can have clean, fresh water. Imagine a nigga that's supposed to be putting up light poles crying over a bitch that wasn't even supposed to treat him in the way that he thought she was supposed to treat him. He had a whole destiny and purpose in life. He didn't because he wanted a girl to love him and like him. So the question I gotta ask the men is, what is you actually pursuing and what is you doing when you building sandcastles with these women? You buying her shit, you taking her out to dinner, you paying the rent, you doing all of this shit, and I guarantee you, every man that have held it down, your girl still have an attitude with you and argue with you. Don't you be perplexed by that? How in the hell is she mad? Right? And I'm affording this whole entire lifestyle. Because you affording this whole entire lifestyle is nothing but a sandcastle. I held her down for 6 years. Sandcastle. I fucking bailed her ass out of jail. Sandcastle. I gave her mama some money. Her mama be calling me and asking me to do stuff, and I be doing it every time. Sandcastle. Because what you gonna do? Bring it up in her face when she do something that you ain't cool with. But let me tell you this, and it's hard. It's hard because a person not going to tell you how they truly feel, because that would mean she would have to turn into Jack Nicholson on your ass for no reason. You can't handle the truth. Your cute little baby girl, right, that you love so much, turn into an old white man in the living room because y'all trying to have a casual, cordial conversation. You asking her questions about her past. She turned into Jack Nicholson because she a shapeshifter, right? You don't even know the power that your woman possess for real. She turned into fucking Jack Nicholson. You can't handle the truth. You be looking confused. Because your image of what you think that this woman is, you have to sit with that shit and destroy that shit. And you can't even listen to what she say because she placating your ego. Because let me tell you something about a man and his ego. It's extremely fragile, especially if you ain't been to prison and you ain't play sports. When you go to prison and you play sports, you see different dick sizes. It's just a normalization. And you synthesize yourself within a crowd of niggas. If you never had these experiences, you just never know. And a lot of times girls be telling you, you got a good sized dick. It's cool. You don't ever be feeling it though. You be like, I don't know. Feel small. Right? It's just perspective. So what am I trying to say? You gotta have men in your life. You gotta have men in your life. And a lot of men raised by single mothers process things emotionally. They do not process things logically. So when it comes to their purpose, when it comes to spiritual matters, they feel emotionally like they don't want to do it, like they don't need it. They don't need to self-develop. They might feel that they only need to become rich, or they only need to become this, or they need to do this, or they need to do that. As a man, you have an animus. You have a goddess within you. As clear as your girlfriend, as clear as your wife is the goddess within. This is not an illusion. Your girlfriend, you tell your girlfriend a couple of sentences that she don't like, some sentences in succession, she is no longer your girlfriend no more. You cannot rest your emotions on a relationship with a person without a true sense of self, because you'll be like Papoose coming to the event, putting your life in danger over some said honor, over your ability to build sandcastles and pray to God that the tide don't wash them away. You gotta look at your wife sometimes and understand that she is over your ass. She has moved on. It's not to say that the relationship is over. It's just to say that it's not really logical and plausible to be with a person and to consume. Let's just say this. It's not logical or even reasonable, rational to think that one person is going to satisfy all of your emotional and mental needs. When you put yourself in said situation, you're going to go the fuck crazy. And if you are a certain type of person who have strong emotional and mental needs, said Remy Ma, who is a world-renowned lyricist, rapper, she lives in a masculine polarity, and that is no shade, right? She is a very powerful being, so her taste and her art image of what Remy Ma should be has nothing to do with the actuality of Remy Ma. Remy Ma probably can take 2 or 4 niggas at a time. From my assessments, she probably swing both ways. She probably can eat a nigga like a fucking hamburger. So whatever Papoose chooses to do, I don't think her brain is going to transmit and transmute monogamy, even if you got a kid, even if you married, even if you the fucking symbol of young black love, which is an illusion. Because the only black love is to be in love with the darkness within. Can you sit in the darkness and find peace? I tell this story a lot, but when I found true joy was in solitary confinement. Did 2 weeks in solitary confinement when I was in prison. And I was in prison and I didn't go to prison and I got comfortable with prison. But I was in prison and I didn't want to go to the hole. I thought the hole was going to be horrible. I got to prison, I got me a TV, I got me a routine. I was pretty comfortable, to say the least, right? So with that being said, a correction officer told me to go outside and pick up rocks. I felt like that was some slavery type shit, so I told him to kiss my ass. I ain't picking up shit. So they sent me in the hole for 2 weeks, and I was cool with that. They gave me a little thing of toothpaste and a little thing of a toothbrush, and I was all alone by myself, I think for the first time in my life. For a long period of time, I might say. I was in the Supermax OSP. That's where the hole was. I wasn't in prison there. I was in the camp, but the hole was in the Supermax. So, but the point of it is that in solitary confinement, it's quiet. It's quiet. It's the quietest place that I ever been in my whole entire life. And in that quietness was a sound, right? It was a sound. And the sound was like moldable. The sound was like clay. And I could do anything with the sound, man. I could do anything with the sound. And I'm an auditory person, and I know it's probably people who like is more like visual or whatever your gift is. At the true, like once you peer past the negative emotions around silence, right? Whatever perceived negative emotions you have, in the deep recesses of silence is whatever your talent is. And my talent was music. And so what I was doing in the hole was I was listening to music in my mind, but I wasn't listening to like music I heard before. It was just music that I wanted to hear, like my own personal library of sound. And so it would be like the most intricate jazz songs. I can still do this. You know what I'm saying? But it's just like, for me, that to me is like being within myself and not being in a space of illusion and being in a space of some form of truth and actually God within. And so I say all of this to say, like, it takes work to find this within yourself. And it's hard to do this when you in relationships with people, because what you'll notice is that they don't really give a fuck. They don't really give a fuck. It's a certain level of relationships that exist that is on the level of illusions, right? So I'm gonna just say this: take care of yourself, stay in tune with yourself. Don't mark your relationships off of being the man of the hour or being the woman that's paying all of the bills. And because whatever you decide to do for that person is a sandcastle. And you also have to understand this is one of the biggest truths that you'll ever hear in your life. Wherever a person is at, they've got themselves in that position. They got themselves in that actual position in life. So your caring and loving heart is only going to make you look stupid at the end of the day. Right? You need to be with people that inspire you, people that are better than you, people that can teach you things so you can learn and actually like be challenged. Right? And this comes from really loving yourself and really being okay with, being honest with nothing, right? That's what a beach is. A beach is like, if you ever been to a beach, next time you go to a beach, I want you to notice when the chaos starts. Like, at what point on the beach does the situation become chaotic? Because it's always I'm always like, wherever beach I'm at, it's like you're on earth, and it's very orderly, very matter of fact. And the closer you get to the water, the more crazier shit it gets, right? So what are these particular barriers within yourself? What are these ideologies within yourself? Like, where's the chaos within yourself? Like, where are the times where you made mistakes by putting your energy in a particular outside thing and waiting and hoping that outside thing was going to bring you joy, only to find out that motherfucker was cheating on you with, your big sister, things of that nature. Now, don't be angry about this either when you find out that you a motherfucking fool, right? When you find out that you don't understand love or nothing about it, right? Because you don't love yourself. You haven't traveled the deep recesses of your mind. You're looking for this validation from this particular stranger, and it's weird because you can't even love yourself. When you get with somebody, you awkward and weird, talking about I'm shy, talking about I'm trauma, I'm still healing, things of that nature. Meaning that when you sit with yourself, you're not even okay with it. You're not even okay with it. So don't be angry about your relationship and not be angry about the fact that you can't even connect to source. And it's okay if I'm talking about it a lot and you feeling triggered by me talking about it a lot. The only reason why is because it takes a lot of time to get into a space where you have inner peace, right? And the reality of it is that there's no degree, there's no certificate, there's no outside validation for said inner peace. It is something that you need to do for yourself, by yourself, right? And I feel like this particular conversation in reference to illusion will help us get there. So let's read a couple of verses, right? We're referencing my favorite book. Y'all should know my favorite book by now. Y'all don't know it, let me tell you. If you don't know, now you know, nigga. Computer moving slow today. I am streaming to 1 million people. Shout out to YouTube. Make sure y'all like, share, subscribe. I'm going to use these moments as teacher moments. And moments to entertain. I feel like information should be somewhat entertaining and to like spread the message as well. I'll be more pulling from popular shit if I feel like it. I don't know. I feel different ways, different days, man. One's in the chat if you feel different ways, different days. We reading out of chapter 12. Zachary Lansdowne, The Apocalypse of St. John is the book, which is just the Bible book of Revelation annotated. What does annotated means? He's making notes in the margins of his personal interpretation. So I want us to look at this because it'll go over in and out of our heads, but I really feel like on this spiritual journey, if you don't acknowledge illusion, then illusion is probably kicking your ass. You giving your time, and it might feel sad to know that your girl ain't shit. It might feel sad to know that you just like TLC, but in reverse. You didn't want no scrubs, but you got a scrub. However, think about the time you could have wasted by keeping up the illusion. Think about that. So, rejoice if you finding some shit out. So, what is Revelation? Revelation is a psychedelic trip of a man named John. This isn't John the Baptist. This is about 200 to 300 years after Christ said was dead and had resurrected. John, living in a future time, probably doing some ayahuasca or some psychedelic mushrooms. He is tripping fucking balls, right? He is tripping and he'll go in and out of consciousness. So if you read Revelation, read it under that premise of a man that's having a psychedelic trip. And in that aspect, you will understand the book a lot more clear. I would say I think or I feel, but I know that Revelation is about this time today. So this requires us to kind of sit back, relax, and try to learn as much as we can about the time that we're in and what we should do about it. So let's get into it. John has another vision that depicts the spiritual journey from beginning to end. So John having another vision is just John having a psychedelic trip that depicts the spiritual journey from beginning to end, but with a different perspective and emphasis. In this vision, the spirit, which is whoever's reading, whoever's consciousness, whoever has ears to hear, whoever has eyes to see, calls for guidance. So the spirit calls for guidance, becomes aware of illusion, and learns how to cast it out. Okay? So what is the lesson that we're learning today? We're recognizing illusion in our lives. First off, we know we might not understand that illusion exists, so we come to the realization that illusion does truly exist, right? We're not going to say, well, I fucking washed your car every day for the past 5 years. How could you cheat on me? How could you want somebody else? I sucked your dick every night, right? I smacked your ass like you wanted to smack. I did everything you wanted me to do. How could you want to leave me? Because it's human fucking nature. And you're not special. The ego says, how are you going to leave me? Spirits, I deal with a different spirit every night. Multiple spirits a day. They come and go. Motherfuckers don't give a shit. They don't be attached to you like that. They come, they go. It's like air. Breathe it in. So let's go through this. Verse 1. And there appeared a great wonder in heaven, a woman clothed with the sun and moon under her feet, and upon her head a crown of 12 stars. And what they're talking about is when you are online looking for that spirit, that special spiritual guru, master, which. And let's be clear, it's okay. Because sometimes you need training wheels before you get on the actual bike. But what I need you to understand is whatever you're looking for in me or anybody else, you need to find it within you need to find it within yourself. So Zachary Lansdowne interpretation of this particular scripture is follows. At the beginning of the spiritual journey, the spirit, which is you, mind, is receptive to the divine. Because it is influenced by external teachers, it understands external teachings and inspires towards mental ideals and spiritual development. Excuse me. Can you shut the door? Thank you. Let's read that again. Because it is influenced by external teachers, it understands external teachings and aspires towards mental ideals of spiritual development. Now, reading that sentence, this is why teaching is so important, because I could imagine a person reading that sentence and not understanding what the fuck they're reading in this particular passage. What's wrong with aspiring towards mental ideals of spiritual development? Well, let's flip it. Let's replace the word so you can understand it a little better. You are aspiring towards mental ideals of sexual experience. Like you just want to think about sex. You want a class that talk about sex. You don't actually want to have sex. And it's okay because it would serve you to take a class on how to properly have sex. But at the end of the day, you just don't want to stop there by constantly pouring into and tapping into external models of spirituality. You would have to then take all of the shit that you learning and apply it to your actual life. One's in the chat if y'all with me so far, because I understand that this could be a very dense topic and people are like, well, what does this guy do with anything? But let me know if y'all feeling me or following me so far. Verse 2. Revelation chapter 12, verse 2. And she, being with child, cried, travailing in birth, and pain to be delivered. So she, representing psychic energy or the negative polarity or the invisible world, being with child, representing an idea. That idea cried, meaning a negative idea, travailing in birth, creating a negative situation, right, to be experienced by the person just because you don't understand the polarities and how they work. Right? In that sentence, you could be reading that and not know what the fuck is somebody talking about. How did a woman, a great wonder in heaven, appear and have a baby? Is this like Tupac said, Brenda had a baby? Part 2? What's happening here? This where he got the inspiration from? I'm lost. This is why teaching is so valuable. But understand that teaching is also learning. I'm a student of God's. God is my teacher, and I learn from God every day. And so I use my platform to speak about spiritual things because this is what I'm learning every single day. But in the experience of it is also something that I want to stress to y'all. Meaning that when I say that God is my teacher, it's following my promptings over following the status quo of chasing a dollar, right? Because once you follow your promptings, what you'll understand is that the dollars begin to chase you. The aspirant's mind, receptive to the soul, calls for its guidance and is distressed by seeing what is revealed. So can y'all understand how both of these interpretations are the same? And she, being with child, represents the negative polarity represents the mind. With child cried, see, when you are dealing with your mind, you can still tap into the soul consciousness. But illusion will have you dealing with your mind like a crying child, right? It's like having a baby and the baby being perfect, but you can only imagine your baby to be crying. This is your mind when it's disconnected from source. And when it's disconnected from source, for it to survive, it has to have illusions. So let's take it back to the beginning. What will we be trying to learn from this actual talk? We first need to recognize illusion in our life. And this is the hardest thing. I know that I'm saying it, but I guarantee you not understanding what the fuck I'm actually saying. You have to look at your life and begin to see the illusion. Where are you putting the most effort at? That is where you are building the most sandcastles. And then you got to unpack the fucking reason why you think that by building sandcastles is you doing something of some form of value. And then you got to stop doing it. 10 times out of 10, it's some shit that you love or perceive yourself to love. Because you was making these decisions not being connected to source. And source is trying to give you a chance to make a better decision, but you got to stop making the wrong decision. So letting some shit go almost seems like your world is ending, but your world is actually beginning if you can understand it to be what it is, which is illusion. So let's continue to read. And thank y'all. And there appeared another wonder in heaven, and behold, a great so once again, and there appeared another wonder in heaven. If you ever did LSD, right? Or if you ever did mushrooms, well, LSD is different from mushrooms, right? But LSD is more of like a wave, like it'll hit you in waves. And if you take a lot of LSD, you will be hallucinating in waves. You will be in a completely different dimension for a set amount of time, and then you'll be back in the fucking living room. And you'll be reaching for a bag of chips and just stop, and then you'll be on some Rick and Morty shit, and niggas is looking at you with your heads in the air like, what the fuck is wrong with dog? Because he's fucking another wonder, and there appeared another wonder in heaven. Once again, you need to understand this shit, because you're going to look at this sentence and not know what the fuck you reading. You going to just read it and be like, and then appeared another wonder in heaven, and your ass going to be looking at the fucking clouds, waiting for another wonder to happen. And that's not what the fuck the book is talking about. The book is talking about a psychedelic experience, which is necessary for you to see your soul. Spoiler fucking alert. It's going to be hard to do it naturally. Spoiler fucking alert. This is why it's so prevalent in the world. This is why you can Google psychedelics. And once again, since we here, niggas, since we here, because Kyrie don't invent shit. It might seem like I do, but I'm not. I'm just the fucking messenger at this particular point. I'm in my mercurial phase of life. God damn it. So this is what I want to show y'all. Delic, from the word Deleon, House of Deleon, Beyonce and them. House of Deleon means to make visible or to reveal. Visible, clear. Psych, you can't say mind, but if you want to go deeper into the psych, you're getting into what is called this. The soul. So if you understand what I'm saying, and I need y'all to put it in the chat, spam the chat, comment, psychedelics means reveal the mind. Meaning that you're not, or let's go further, reveal the soul. Now, when you think about what you need to eat for dinner, what boy you want to be with, you think about your job, this, that, and the third. But the same modality that you are using to think is like you like looking at it from the outside and dealing with it and interfacing with it. And your mind is powerful that it'll interface with you back. Oh, what you want to eat? Yeah, we should do some ribs. Nah, I'm tired of ribs. Nigga, let's get some chicken. You want to do Bojangles? Nah, nigga, let's do In-N-Out. Fuck that, nigga. Let's get some goddamn churches, nigga. Churches sound good. I ain't been there in a minute, nigga. Get some of that okra? Hell yeah. Text your girl. Hey, babe, I'm gonna go to fucking churches, get some okra. You want something? Like, your mind is still fuck with you, even on the fact that you getting some damn okra. Like, your mind will fuck with you on all different types of levels. But if you reinverted your mind and actually dealt with what your mind is used for, you would have a whole outlook on fucking life. I guarantee you, without a shadow of a doubt. For you to understand that your mind is living and dealing with you and vibrating on a different level that's going to guide you, you would think differently. And these is all subtitles and taglines of White Rabbit Psychedelics, and I'm not even doing it on purpose. It's just the fucking truth. So once again, and there appeared another wonder in heaven. He's going in another trance-like state. What does he see? He beholds a great red dragon, having 7 heads, 10 horns, and 7 crowns upon his heads. What is he talking about? This is the red dragon that he is talking about. Let's do it one further. Brain, spinal cord, chakras. This is the red dragon that he's talking about. Let's read the psychological interpretation. The fact of illusion is revealed. Okay? It's going to get deep. So make sure you got on your scuba gear. Illusion appears as a great adversary responsible for all conflicts. It controls the 7 chakras and all desires. It gives importance to the outer form and deludes through the passage of time. Let's do it point for point. Illusion appears as a great adversary responsible for all conflicts. And I was telling my friend this the other day. We can't talk about chakras if we don't know about chakras. Because chakras are unimportant to a person that is concerned with the external world and outer form. To understand chakras, you need to be completely okay with going within and understanding your endocrine system, understanding the real great dragon. Let's continue. And his tail drew the third part of the stars of heaven and did cast them to the earth. And the dragon stood before the woman, which was ready to be delivered for to devour her child as soon as it was born. The chakras in the spinal column, which are controlled by illusion, have corrupted some of the mental ideals turning them into false beliefs, emotional reactions, compulsion. Illusion, operating on the mental level, is ready to fight against any guidance from the soul, as soon as the mind has received it. So when it says devour the child as soon as it was born, the reason why you don't understand your soul is because your need to go to fucking work and work a fucking double shift. Your soul cannot get a word in edgewise. When you sit with yourself, you cut on fucking Netflix. You don't meditate. When you got time to yourself, you going to sleep because you tired. If your soul tell you to do something, you can't do it. Now, I'm going to say something that's controversial, and a lot of people might not like it, nor might not understand. And it's times where I want a job. I'd rather have a job some days. Different days, different ways. But I understand why I don't have a job, because I have to follow my soul every single day. I have to follow my intuition every single day. And it's hard for me to tell my job, man, I got to go to the mound today and meditate, when they want me to fulfill 15 orders on the delivery sheet. Sometimes I can't deliver the orders on the delivery sheet. I got to go within and tune into myself. And when you in a relationship with a person that's not in tune with you, you got to make sacrifices to go within yourself. And that don't even make sense. You deprioritizing yourself. You deprioritizing your soul. What I mean by deprioritizing your soul is whenever you get guidance from the soul, you can't actually deal with it because the kids is getting on your motherfucking nerves. Every time your soul is giving you an idea, you can't receive it because you mad at your nigga. You mad at your supervisor. You mad at your mama. You mad at your daddy. You mad at your brother. You mad at your sister. You know when a motherfucker got it good? When they start developing motherfucking psychoses towards they fucking uncles and aunts. I remember I was talking to a girl that looked so fucking good and had her shit together so good, but couldn't explain shit. And the only thing she could explain was that her and her uncle got a negative relationship. I said, did he touch you or something? She said, no, I think he just jealous of me. And imagine having a reading for an hour over a bitch's uncle because she have had a mental ideal turning into a false belief, which have turned into emotional reaction and a compulsion. Every time it's a family get together, she feel like her uncle is the bane of her fucking existence. And she fucking got body, fine, chocolate, beautiful. But illusion will say, listen, she look good. She a damn teacher. She want to sit and talk to me about it gotta be my uncle's fault why I ain't got a man. You think she took my advice? Of course not. Why didn't she take my advice? Because illusion, operating on the mental level, is ready to fight against any guidance from the soul as soon as the mind receives it. Soon as you give her good advice, she triggered. And this is why people are triggered when you are a spiritual being. This passage right here. You could read through this shit and not understand what you're reading. I've read through this book. I wish I could find my actual book. A nigga will see I've read through this book time and time again. To be able to deliver this message this succinctly so you could begin to understand the certain levels of illusion in your life, because it is the first step. It is whatever phobia or whatever negative opinion that you have had that have created a false belief. Because what are we dealing with when we're dealing with inner peace? We are dealing with nothing. This is why it's hard for a nigga to quit his job, because that means you are not going to do nothing. And sometimes niggas have to do something, and I get it. I understand. It's a huge ego hit to be when people ask me, what do I do? I gotta be honest. A little bit of this, a little bit of that. A little bit of this, a little bit of that. I'm in the mode of just telling motherfuckers that I'm a full-fledged, full-time witch. That's what I'm about to start saying to motherfuckers when they ask me that. Because motherfuckers swear to God they want to know what the fuck I got going on. Hey, man, what do you do? Hey, man, what's going on with you? And she brought forth a man-child who was to rule all nations with a rod of iron, and her child was caught up unto God and to his throne. So let's read the interpretation. Eventually, the mind brings forth the guidance of the soul, which combines the wisdom of the maturity with the still small voice. The soul will rule all aspects of the personality by the way of awakened kundalini in the spinal column. It acts as the intermediary for God and is aligned with the heart of God. So this is one of the things that I like to tell people when they first getting into magic and spirituality. I know you want a man. I know you want money. I know you want to get out of your mom's house and things of that nature. I know you want your own apartment. I know you want a car. Your soul knows you want all of that shit too, okay? Deal with your soul and you'll get everything that you want out of life. You don't got to actually pinpoint and differentiate what part of the illusion you actually need. Align with your soul, trust in your soul, try to vibrate at the same frequency as your soul, and all of the things that you desire, you'll be given. It's an energetic polarity. What energy polarity are you dealing with, and are you in the space of maximizing that energy? Is it negative energy? Are you doing the most attractive things to attract? Are you showing up like, listen, what confuses people about seduction, the most confusing thing about seduction is when you look halfway decent. And you just be wondering why it ain't working for you. And then you see somebody who look worse than you getting it popping. Talking about they living a soft life. And you like, damn, my shit is hard. You look hard, you having a soft life. I look soft and I'm having a hard life. Make that make sense. Because it's all hoodoo, it's all voodoo, it's all magic. I don't care what you look like. If you are a woman that is on top of your hoodoo shit, the niggas is eating out of your hand. Right? If you are looking good and you ain't doing no magic, these niggas is fucking you in the back seat. I thought we was gonna get a hotel or something. Like, this is a hotel. It's called a Scat Pack Inn, bitch. Get in the back. Nigga got a fucking ring light. Fucking you on camera in the back seat. Cause you ain't did no magic. If you okay with it, I'm fine with it. I'm just letting you know why you keep losing when it comes to these dudes. You gotta do magic. If you don't do magic, then it's just random occurrences of events. You leave a man up to his own will. And 10 times out of 10, it's called post-nut clarity. Don't be a victim of it. Make sure you get yours on the front end. Just because. Just look it up. Google it. Post-nut clarity. Meaning that if you got a man doing everything that he's supposed to do before he get the ass, don't then give him the ass. Because once you give him the ass, he is about to act differently. So whatever you do, keep him in love with you. Keep him doing the things that he doing. Now, what is going to make him do the things that he doing? The shit that you do in the kitchen. The shit you do in your room. The shit that you do in the bathroom. How intentional are you about your energy? The more intentional you become, the easier it is for you to master this polarity of love and relationships. And the woman fled into the wilderness where she had a place prepared of God that they should feed her 1,203 days. As the woman fled into the wilderness. So woman, she, that's the mind or the negative polarity, fled into the wilderness. This is that part of telling y'all when I was in solitary confinement and I went deep within myself, deep within the silent place where she had a place prepared for God. And I'm telling you, it's not as simple as meditating and saying, boy, I can't meditate. I don't like meditating. Get you some earplugs from CVS. Get into the most quietest place. Get you some blindfolds and get into the silence. Find the silence until you find the noise, or go into the darkness until you see the light. So when the woman fled into the wilderness, she went to a place prepared for God. The woman is the mind, going deeper into the mind where you find this deeper spiritual reality. That they should feed her there 1,203 score days. So you need to be there for a minute. Let's see what his interpretation is. Through a practice of meditation, the mind becomes detached from the external world and abides in an inner sanctuary, remaining there until inner peace comes. Once again, same thing that I was saying. Inner peace is hard. This is why I'm going to have to do video after video referencing this. And I don't want you to say, well, I heard this before. I heard this before. Understand, that's like saying climbing the Empire State Building with no shoes on in a windy day. And it's raining, snowing, sleet, everything. And I got to climb to the top just on my pure wit with no fucking grappling belt, no nothing. No harness, no net, no nothing. And my task is to climb the fucking Empire State Building. If that was your actual realistic task, you would be looking at that shit like, man, that's impossible. This is the same thing that I'm telling you about inner peace. I would say finding inner peace is harder than climbing the Empire State Building barefoot. Because when it comes down to the come down, dick is the only thing that make you happy. Pussy is the only thing that make you happy. Food is the only thing that make you happy. Inner peace don't make you happy. It's a childlike understanding. Like, motherfuckers, grown ass people be talking about, I'm bored. Ain't shit to do. What's the move this weekend? I need to do something. Grown as hell. So tell inner peace. People don't actually want that. So you have better luck climbing the Eiffel Tower with covered in baby oil than you do to find inner peace. It's hard. It's not as simple as it sounds. And there was a war in heaven. Once again, a war in heaven is a discordant thought or a negative thought. Michael and his angels fought against the dragon, and the dragon fought against the angels. During meditation, a war takes place in the mind. Intuitions from the soul, the archangels, oppose the beliefs that illusion fosters whatever your mama and daddy taught you. Illusion fights back through its judgments, because what controls you is the fact that your parents is going to judge you. What controls you is that you doubt yourself. What controls you is that you project your God force energy on another human being. So you could talk to a person and understand that they love this person in an unhealthy way. One's in the chat if you ever heard somebody talk about somebody and it made you cringe a little bit because you felt like this person loved this person in a way that they wasn't getting love back. But this person loved this person so much that it wasn't nothing that you was going to tell them that made them redirect it or rethink it. So you feel helpless and powerless because you know that something fucked up has got to happen for your person to break that spell. But the person who is so in love with somebody, the person that's so in love with somebody, the person that is so in love with somebody is under their own fucking spell. Their own fucking spell, which is called projection. Number 8. Verse 8, rather. And prevailed not, neither was their place found any more in heaven. Eventually, illusion is temporarily vanquished during a moment of illumination in which the mind dwells within the innocence of the present and is no longer identified with the past or future. This is the liminal space. This is the point in the middle. This is where we need to be at as spiritual beings. It's what I call liminality. It's a good album title for any artist out there, right? Liminality. Right here. This is the present moment. And it's always good to bring yourself into this moment, because mentally you could be thinking about what's about to happen, not yet, or what has already happened. And both of these energies are wave-like states that can be altered based upon your ability to remain present. Once again, remaining present and climbing Mount Everest, I would decide to climb Mount Everest butt naked than I would try to teach a person how to remain present over a long period of time. It is so hard. Verse 9. And the great dragon was cast out, that old serpent called the devil and Satan, which deceiveth the whole world. He was cast out into the earth, and his angels were cast out with him. Even though the great adversary illusion is cast out of the mind during a moment of illumination, it is still part of the emotional body in the form of latent reactions. It is still part of the physical body in the form of latent compulsions. This is why you gotta always understand that you ain't shit. Whenever you get a victory in life, you want to throw on your crown and act like you figured it out, and you want to put on a class, and you want to put on a show, and you want to let people know that you've accomplished some shit, you will be fucked up. Not people's perception of you. You personally gonna be fucked up, because it's them small parts of you that ain't shit that's gonna come to the surface emotionally and physically. Like, if you not, see, the thing about working out that I realized, you can't just reach a certain physique and stop working out. You gotta always work out. It's old ass men in there, old ass women in there. You can't never stop. It is the addiction, right? Because your ability to be lazy can creep up to you at any point at any time. So you got to stay on top of that. And I heard a loud voice saying in heaven, now is come salvation and strength in the kingdom of our God and the power of his Christ, for the accuser of our brethren is cast down, which accused them before our God day and night. What the hell are they talking about? When you come to the following conclusions with this abstract thinking, a moment of illumination brings salvation from fear, inner peace awareness of the divine whole, and the power of the soul. When you come to the following conclusions with this abstract thinking, a moment of illumination brings salvation from fear, inner peace, and it also gives you awareness of the divine whole and the power of the soul. Now, this particular experience is unlike any experience on the planet, in the world. And the reason that I say this is because I've actually experienced what is being said here. When you're having a psychedelic experience and you disconnect from your body and you go so deep within yourself that you witness your soul and you feel your power, is going to move you to tears. It's going to make you cry. It's going to shake you to your core to know that within you, you have this power to change your life, but change the world. And I tell you, I was in a house that resembled a shack in the driveway of a car that didn't even drive no more. I was at my lowest point in life, and I had the psychedelic experience, outer body experience, whatever you want to call it. And my soul told me, remember this day, remember this moment. Never forget where you came from. And when I tell you, I knew that I was about to fucking come up, it wasn't a doubt in my motherfucking mind that I was going to get some goddamn motion out here in these fucking streets. I was in the worst position, but my soul had spoke to me and said, nigga, remember this, because everything in your life is going to change. When I had that experience, you couldn't really tell me shit. Because I found it within myself. And my uncle told me, when I told him my dreams and my ideas, he said, first you need to get a job at Burger King and work your way up. I told my aunt, she told me, nigga, you need to get a job. I said, okay. Okay. I realized I can't go to y'all for my inspiration. I got to keep it within. And I tell people this all the time. Your biggest supporters are not the people that you know. I'm going to say that one more time. One in the chat if you heard what I just said. Your biggest supporters is not your friends and family. Your loved ones. You got $1 million idea. You got $1 million business. And all that money is going to come from fucking strangers that you don't even know. I guarantee you. So all the love in the world is not going to get you where you need to get to financially. When you tap into the facts of who you are internally and you stop playing with this shit and your spirit show you this is where you at. This is where you been, but this is where you're going. Nothing can hold you back, bro. Nothing can stop you. I guarantee you. I'm saying that as a person, a real human being. You might feel like it's back against the wall. You don't have no solution. You don't have no way out of it. The way out of your situation is time for you to go within yourself and find the confidence that is within you already. The boldness that's within you already. The shit that I am, the shit that I represent come from within myself. My most powerful spells and things that I've seen with my own eyes have came from my own intuition. And I'm not saying that to brag or boast. I'm saying that when you deal with you and your confidence come from you, not no weird certificate from a weird motherfucker online, some weird shit that's going on online, weird classes, bitches playing into your fucking FOMO, fear of missing out, then they charging you all of this money because you valuing this shit, because you value it based upon the money. But you can't find it within yourself. You can't be moved within yourself. Why? Because it's so fucking hard. That's why. You rather take the SAT blindfolded and try to get a perfect score with not even knowing where the paper at. You got to find the paper in the fucking library, blindfolded. Somehow manage to find your SAT, get a perfect score, all while not seeing shit, not having no interpreter. You much more likely to get a perfect score on your SAT than it is to find inner peace. That's how hard it is. You do not have time to waste. You do not have a second or a minute to waste. Every time you scroll down your fucking Instagram, it's times for which you can find inner peace. But I guarantee you that you is not about to find inner peace on no fucking Instagram. You gonna find more turmoil. And when the dragon saw that he cast unto earth, he persecuted the woman which brought forth the child. When illusion is active through wrong identification, it can torment the mind even after brought forth the soul's guidance. So you never reach a precipice in this spiritual journey. I do have it right here. Damn it, ain't that how it go? It goes just like it's supposed to, doesn't it? Let's look at this. I got the tab right here. The depressed brain encourages rigid thought patterns that impact well-being. The depressed brain encourages rigid thought patterns that impact well-being. When you tell people, give people advice, they be like, man, fuck out of here with that spiritual soul shit, nigga. I don't want to hear that shit. Meditate on these nuts. My baby daddy just left me. I don't want to meditate. I want to find that bitch and I want to tear her goddamn pinky nails off. This can be viewed as a landscape with deep wells that make it difficult for patients to move between different thoughts and perspectives. Psilocybin therapy flattens the brain's landscape and opens up. I didn't create this. I didn't write this. We reading this together. Each learn and teach. Teach and learn as a unit. You and your niggas get together and y'all ain't learning new information. You need new friends. One's in the chat if you heard what I said. You and your girlfriends get together. Y'all not learning new information. You need new girlfriends. One's in the chat. You're around people, you can smoke and drink, but y'all can't come up with a fucking little side hustle together. You need new friends. Why can y'all smoke and drink together, but y'all can't read books together? That don't even make sense. You take chapter 1, I take chapter 2. We do PowerPoint presentations on Zoom. Or we do the PowerPoints in the living room. And we figure out how to get the fuck out of these fucking apartment complexes. If you depressed, you ain't thinking on no type of solutions to get out of your situation. And that's what make it fucked up. If you sad, the sad part is that you not going to do shit to make your situation better. That's the sad part. The sad part ain't what you thinking about. The sad part is your inability to act in your best interest. When you depressed, you might think that a person is supposed to do something for you and they don't know what to do for you. What can you do for yourself? Psilocybin therapy flattens the brain's landscape and opens up the rigidity of the depressed to allow new thoughts, insight, and perspective to emerge. Post-treatment, a flatter landscape makes it easier for patients to experience healthier flexibility and diversity in their thought patterns, which is necessary for all understanding of life. When illusion is active through wrong identification, it can torment the mind, even after it has brought forth the soul's guidance. So this is in 2015, I had this spiritual experience in my driveway. It was amazing. I was inspired. I was motivated, and I still caught hell. I caught hell because when illusion is active through wrong identification, it can torment the mind. Even if you had a psychedelic experience, seeing your soul, y'all had a pop locking competition. He gave you the schematics on how you was going to personally take over the world. And the schematics was you couldn't fuck it up No matter how hard you try, and you was going to one day be the king of the fucking universe. It don't matter. If illusion is active through wrong identification, it can torment the mind. This is why the purpose of this education, this is why the purpose of this illusion is the purpose of this teaching is to identify the illusion first and foremost. And it is all illusion because it is all a sandcastle. It is all things that you are doing for recognition, only to be saddened when you come back to the beach and that beautiful sandcastle that you built is no longer there. Honey, I washed your fucking clothes every single day. I folded them. I cooked you dinner. I fucking ran you a bubble bath. I gave you a massage. I sucked your dick. I sucked your toes. I gave you another massage. I put hot oil on you. How could you cheat on me? How could you leave me? How could you hurt me? How could you do this? Try it this time. I built a sandcastle and I built another sandcastle and I built another sandcastle. After that, I built a larger sandcastle. Honey, why did you bring the tide onto the beach and wash my sandcastle away? I wanted to build the only sandcastle that stayed forever. Why? That means I gotta go to the beach and build another sandcastle. But why would I build the sandcastle if the tide is just gonna take it away? That's just how life works. You can't take none of this shit with you. So what you mean if I make $1 million and I have 18 mansions and 15 cars, I can't take at least one of them bitches with me to heaven? I mean, I worked hard for it. You mean I can't take none of this shit with me? The only thing I can take with me is my soul. So the only thing important down this bitch is to deal with my soul, because when it's all said and done, no matter what I manifest, no matter how big my house is, no matter how big I leave a will for my kids, I can't take it with me. Nothing. I can't take $2 to give to God. He might want a fucking soda or something in heaven. I don't know. Might want to tip the angels for giving me a ride. I can't take nothing with me. Nothing. Like one thing. Like if I like become a trillionaire, just say I'm like Jeff Bezos. That nigga can't take one Amazon box to heaven with him. One Amazon box. Just the soul leaves the body, and whatever you manifest down here, it does not matter when you die. Tell me more. Tell me more. Like, what the fuck is really happening? This is why we got to get into our soul, because at the end of the day, that's all you taking with you. That's all you taking with you. You don't take no experience. You don't take no award, no certificate, no red carpet, no nothing. You only take your soul. So when I ask people, what is the relationship to their soul? They 10 times out of 10 say, I don't got one. I don't know what you're talking about. I'm just trying to figure out how I can pay this light bill. And to the woman who are given 2 wings of a great eagle that she might fly into the wilderness, into her place where she is nourished for a time and times. Can you get out? Please? Please? I'll give you some candy if you just get out one time. Don't be that way. And the 2 women were given 2 wings of a great eagle that she might fly into the wilderness, into her place where she nourished for a time, and times a half a time from the face of the serpent. And yet, any moment, the mind can use the love and intuition of the soul to become detached and dwell in its inner sanctuary, So we want to reiterate and bring about a different emphasis when it comes to meditation and being in tune with self. You're not simply meditating to say you meditated. You're detaching from this experience. Just use my example of solitary confinement. I'm already in prison, but I'm detaching from population. When you detach from population, it's only you. So then when you deal with you, it's a deeper level of you that you haven't reached because you are so ingrained of what's happening outside of you. And what's happening outside of you is an illusion. So until you recognize an illusion, illusion is constantly and continually kicking your black ass. And the serpent cast out of his mouth water as a flood after the woman, that he might cause her to be carried away of the flood. Now, if you see water as a flood, as a spiritualist, as an esotericist, you now know that they're talking about emotions. Whenever you see water, you always know they're talking about emotions. Excuse me. So when the serpent gets cast out the mouth water as a flood after the woman, this is negative emotions taking over your mind, that he might cause her to be carried away of the flood. The negative emotions, I want to really slap this motherfucker. I feel like I should flatten his tires. You want to really hurt somebody. You really want to do some negative stuff, whatever the case may be, or you just feeling sorry for yourself. I ain't shit. I'm a horrible person. These are powerful emotional reactions that might cause the mind to forget the soul and the inner sanctuary. The shit that the illusions in this world, and is always going to be in somebody that you like, somebody that you love. Because the person that you like, the person that you love, you don't really like them, you don't really love them, you are projecting your God force energy on them. So sooner or later, they go into people. Y'all ever heard of peopling? When people start to people, you will start looking at them crazy. The reason you looking at them crazy is because you are rating them and judging them on what your soul would do in said specific situation. They are not your soul. So you might think you like or love somebody. You are projecting that energy onto that person. And it could be somebody close to you, and it could be somebody on the internet. I had to work through a whole series of projections by just being on the internet. Even to understand how people can. I used to be tripping off of people fucking loving me one day and hating me the next day. Hood Mystic, I just love your content. Oh, Hood Mystic, I love your content. You is the truth, Hood Mystic. I love you. Hood Mystic, I hate you. I can't stand your ass. I don't like you. I don't agree with that. Yeah, I'm like, damn. Thought you was about to be my next baby mama. What's with the energy? Last verse. And the earth helped the woman, and the earth opened her mouth and swallowed up the flood, which the dragon cast out of his mouth. So earth is always the physical body. Now think about the physical body as a consciousness, because it is. The physical body will help the mind, and the physical body opened up the mouth, right? Which would be the voice, the word is God, and swallowed up the flood, which the dragon cast out of his mouth. So I would read that as when you are in tune with your physical body, when you bring your physical into the spiritual, you are dealing with a level of healing that most people don't deal with, because most people is going to eat the Twinkie. Most people is eating the chicken. When I look for vegan restaurants, is one. If I just ate meat, it'd be so much food I could eat. There's a lot of food out here that niggas can be eating. So many restaurants. If you just feel like, well, I eat meat, then you got a whole selection to choose from. It's a new restaurant basically every day. I'm saying all of this to say you could work against your soul by engaging in negativity towards your physical body. And it's always the egoic spiritual person. Oh, I'm spiritual. It don't matter what I eat. As long as I do my meditation, I can eat this hog's ass. That's how I interpret it. How does Zachary Lansdowne interpret it? See, I used to read these verses and not know what the fuck I'm reading, but I've been reading this book over and over again. I'm getting kind of cold at the interpretations. Let's see what he say. The physical body, like I said, whenever you see earth, you talking about the physical body. As an occultist, as a spiritualist, do not look at the earth as the shit that you walk on, because the shit that you walk on and your physical body are synonymous, believe it or not. That's a whole nother discussion. The physical body helps the mind cope with these emotional reactions fostered by illusion, because any emotional indulgence eventually has to be replaced by efforts to satisfy ordinary physical needs such as sleep, food, drink, and shelter. So once again, whenever you like following your emotions, like if your emotions have you in a space, negative or positive, where you gotta eat or fight or fuck or do something, you eventually gotta go back and normalize the energy. So basically what this would say is, why not live in a world, in a space where everything is right and exact, so you don't have to always deal with spiritual stuff. Like a clearer example is like when you like your parents used to go to church. After they did like some real fucked up shit, they'll be going to church. Or if like your parents was anything like my parents, if they needed some goddamn money, they'll be up at church praying for some fucking money. Now, this verse is saying, just take care of your fucking money, right? Don't get in a diet weight loss plan after you done ate 15,000 Subway sandwiches. Just don't eat the Subway sandwiches and exercise regularly as a lifestyle. Last verse. And the dragon, which is the spine, which is the brain, right? Brain, spinal cord, which represents illusion, which represents the ego, was wroth with the woman. See, wroth is a word that I don't know what that means. So whenever I find words that I do not know, I look them up. Wroth. What the fuck is a wroth? Wroth. Angry. Wroth means angry. And the dragon was angry with the woman. Illusion is angry with the mind, and went to make war with the remnant of her seed, which keep the commandments of God and have the testimony of Jesus Christ. How do I read that? I read that we exist at a cellular level. So when you simply stop engaging in illusion, when you just simply deal with the liminal truth of existence, then every manifestation subsequent to being clear is now operating as a free radical or a perfect gene or a perfect cell or a perfect organ, because that is the natural process. When we talk about like what we are here to do, we can only fuck it up, right? If we just simply let it be, it will become a natural, perfect creation, right? And that's how I interpret it. But when we are completely tied in and tuned into the illusion, don't recognize it, the nature of illusion is to make war with the soul. So that, once again, we say keep our enemies close. No, our friends close and our enemies closer. The closest enemy to you is your brain. And your reptilian brain, your spinal cord. Illusion will always attack you. Yo, man, I love going to the gym and I hate going to the gym. There's always a nigga that's 6'4" with muscles coming out his fucking forehead. It's like, God damn, nigga, just chill. Just take a couple weeks off, bro. Like, up in this bitch every day. Let me catch up. Like, that. But, I still got to keep going. Right? And I just got to be like, man, if one of these niggas take my girl, man, I just got to live with that shit, bro. Like, because the woman is not my property. If I'm doing everything that I'm supposed to do for her and she chooses to leave me, I got to be okay with it. That's the reality. Can't be going to no event, beating dudes up. You can't be writing long soliloquies on Twitter talking about how women ain't shit and how men ain't shit. You cannot control and manipulate a person into loving you. You can only love yourself. Because it'll always come back on you. And it's always the good man. Nice guys finish last. Because all that nice shit wasn't going to get you nowhere at the end of it all. Illusion keeps on attacking the mind, and it tries to subvert these parts of the personality that follow intuitions from their soul and the teachings from the soul. So, in reference to this, man, to all the good guys that's eating nothing but horse shit every fucking morning, and they don't have no understanding why, and they know that they a good guy, let me tell you why. None of that shit you doing matters in the grand scheme of things, especially if you don't have a space where you are in love with yourself. And if your girl want to feed you horse shit, you just get up and go to Shaniqua's house and eat some goddamn surf and turf. Take a picture of it. But yeah, this is Zachary Lansdowne, Revelations of the Soul. I intuitively connected Remy Ma Papoose to the ways in which us men try to do the most and hoping that will secure a woman loving us. But as we see with Papoose, that it still don't work that way. Do it mean that you should stop doing nice things for your girl? Absolutely. It means that. I'm just kidding. Treat people the way you want to be treated, right? Develop a relationship with self, and make sure you are on your purpose. Make sure that your wife is not your purpose. Make sure your job is not your purpose. Make sure your husband is not your purpose, because a motherfucker can wake up tomorrow and not like you. And you can't say, well, I gave you this and I did this and I did that, because that's the shit that you gonna say. So I want you to really get into the space. What is an illusion? The things that I'm doing for my husband as a ways to secure a relationship, but not the things that I'm doing out of my soul space of free love, right? I give the love and I don't want nothing in return. I don't want nothing in return because I know I ain't shit, right? I'll give you the love, and what you choose to do with it is up to you. But please understand, if I give you $10 and you spend it on Louis Vuitton, that's on you. Because I could have gave you $10 and you could have invested it, gave me back my $10, and you could have had $10 for yourself. Okay, we got lessons on top of lessons, messages on top of messages, but I want y'all to really be in tune with yourself. Stop trying to do the most. Stop trying to chase something and really get into your energy within yourself. So let me get to my day. I've spent a lot of time on this video, but I felt that it was necessary. It was cathartic for me, and I hope you was able to pull something out of it. This was an educational lesson. This wasn't entertainment. This is not what you thought it was. So hopefully you had an open mind and was able to learn. And for those that are depressed, unable to change their mind, unable to redirect their energy, might I suggest you visit my website, White Rabbit Psych, and just get a weekly supply, right? A weekly supply, take one a day, and see how it helps, right? It's a low risk investment to just feeling different about your life, right? One dose of psilocybin could actually, heal your depression for a year, right? So this is not anything for which I'm pressuring you or hoping that you do. What I will hope that you do is do your research, do your due diligence. John Hopkins University, psychedelic research, okay? And if you have any questions, visit whiterabbitpsych.com. We do have a ask questions button. You could send us an email and we could talk about it. With that being said, man, y'all have a wonderful day. I'll see y'all on the flip side. Follow me on IG. Yeah, man, let me know how y'all thought about this video, and have a great day. Peace. Great weekend as well. And I'll see y'all